Three regions of Europe have come together to show you the best that Europe can offer. From Italy, we've got Parma ham and Parmigiano-Reggiano. You've probably heard of both of those before. And they achieve European status of PDO for food. It's the highest status that Europe offers. We've also got two wine regions to show you as well. Here we've got Burgundy, which is AOC status. We've got a white wine, we've got a red wine, and a crémant. And also in a moment, we're going to show you some wines from the Douro Valley, which are of DOC status. Right, without further ado, this is a Chardonnay from Burgundy. Burgundy is quite a long region, and there's a big difference between the wines from the north and the south. Most of the wines are made from Chardonnay. At the top, you've got very dry, chiselled, fresh, crisp wines like this. This is a Chablis. At the bottom, you've got much warmer, softer, riper wines from Macon, Saint-Laurent, Puy-Fouissé. And there's a graduation through all of those. And the soils are very different, which actually makes quite a difference to the texture of the wine. So let's take a look at this wine. It's so crisp, what the French call charnu, or in France, chiselled. It's kind of minerally. For the red wine here, we've got Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir, the holy grail of red grape varieties. Everybody in the wine trade that I know probably has had a Pinot Noir Epiphany, a moment when they drank a Pinot Noir and had a great one for the first time and went, wow. Let's have a look. One person once described it as the good Lord slipping down your throat in velvet pants. It's silky. It's soft, it's almost duvet soft, and it has a lovely perfume. It's a mingle of oak and cherries and raspberries. It's quite extraordinary. Yeah. Absolutely delicious. Fantastic. I mean, that's a meal, isn't it? Cheers. Right, the Douro Valley, the jewel in the crown of winemaking in Portugal. We have a still wine. We've also got two ports. We're familiar with port, I'm sure. Fortified, sweet, usually drunk at Christmas. But like dogs, it's not just for Christmas. It works with all sorts of things. It's great with puddings. We've got a couple here. But also, they are becoming increasingly well known in the UK and have always been respected by the wine trade fraternity for their still wines, for their dry reds. So if you like powerful, fruity, robust wines, which have got lots of juice, lots of fruit, you're going to love them. Port. A lot of people don't really understand the styles of port, so I'll try and break it down as simply as I can. You've got port that is aged in a bottle, which is usually known as ruby port because of the colour. You've also got port that's aged in barrels in oak for a long period of time, 10, 20, maybe 30, even 40 years. And because it's spent that much time in oak, it loses its colour, it gains a dryness, a tannin from the oak, and these wines are called tawny ports. Again, reference to the colour. We've got one of each here. Tawny port is a wonderful drink. This is a 20-year-old tawny. This is quite a stylish port. It has a wonderful toffee-ish savouriness, and it goes very, very well with desserts. Red fortified wines, red sweet wines, specifically port, go very, very well with chocolate. It's one of the greatest matches. I could quite happily sit and read a book and eat a chocolate bar and drink tawny port. It works very well. At the end here, though, we've got a ruby port. Now, they've got different levels of ruby. You've got ruby, you've got aged ruby, what these are called vintage character, which is aged still. You've got late bottled vintage, which is a port that's been kept back for 6 years or so before you buy it, so it's ready to drink when you buy the bottle. These ports don't age terribly well. They're designed to be drunk out of the bottle. But then you've got ports which haven't been stored or filtered. They're designed to age. You've got single quinta port, which is port made from a single vineyard. You've also got vintage port, which is wine that's been aged in oak for 2 years, then put in bottle, and it will take 15 to 20 years in a good vintage for them to reach their peak and be really complex. This is an LBV that I'm drinking here, but it's also a traditional LBV, and this, for me, is the best value, greatest style of port to drink relatively young. This is a 1999. It's been aged for 5 years in oak, and then put into bottle. So it's got the softness of a tawny, but it'll age for another 10 or 20 years. And it's half the price of vintage port. Absolutely fantastic value for money, and probably the best value fortified red sweet wine on earth. Licorice, cherries, blackcurrants. Sorry you can't taste it with me.